Hey. Hello.
Hey,
Hello. So, this is Josh Logan, who is the director of the garage sale, and I'm Molly Hagan, and I wrote it. And we're here, and we're gonna just
and
talk
produced
about.
it.
Well, so did you. We both produced it, and we're gonna vamp until people can join us. So, you can't stay long because you're gonna go see Hamilton.
I'm going to see Hamilton tonight. Be jealous. Everyone be jealous.
Very jealous.
Thank you, Jesse Einstein, if you're out there.
He's not out there yet. Okay, so let's hope people join us as we talk about the garage sale. Maybe I should go and see if we are on the garage sale. We're still happening. We're still doing it. So if you've joined us, hello. I'm just checking to make sure it's happening. There we are.
Wow,
Woo!
that's creepy. I'm talking, but I'm not talking.
All right, so why aren't we seeing any feeds? That's lovely. People are on here. Oh, maybe, Sharon. Hey, Slem. Okay, Slem is one of our actors. He plays Richard, and he is incredible in this. He's just, what do you want to say about Anselm?
Oh, man. Just a total, like, powerhouse, controlled, but precise. Really one of the finest actors I've ever worked with. Thank you, Slim, for this amazing and really, like, deep performance. It's you brought this guy to life in a way that he did not exist yet on the page.
Exists a little bit on the page. a little bit on the page. Great. And Carrie Fernsworth Fiesel is also joining us, and she was the artistic director of the piece. And so everything you see that's on that lawn and how everything looked is because of Carrie.
She raided a lot of her friends' garages beforehand. She also went to tons of garage sales because we had a couple of months of lead up before we shot it. And she just started collecting things, and we put everything into a big storage unit. So over the months, as she just found weird things that she keyed on, she just loaded them all up into a storage unit that we went to go clear out right before we started shooting into the actual U-Haul that you see in the film. But Carrie did an amazing job of just like finding just the most amazing, strange items that would inspire conversation and make people laugh just by holding them up.
So there was just, and she, if you ever go look at some of the pictures and the really beautiful settings, that's Gigi and Richard's area. And Carrie had this wonderful idea that in every act that Gigi would change, her layout, because Gigi was always, art directing her own area. And so she found this old typewriter, and so every act had a theme, had a Gigi theme for her area. It was spectacularly funny to me. And
like a woodland theme by Gigi. So it all looked like, like it was in a department store. Like everything was just beautifully laid out and itemized, and everything had its own individual price tag, and it was all themed based on the act.
And even the price tags were thematic and beautiful. It was very funny. So hello and thank you. Oh, Kirby. Okay, Kirby Seiss made it. So she was our sound mixer and sound mixer extraordinaire because of all the things that we had to deal with. Mandy Levin and Bryce Williams allowed us to film on their yard and use their house as a base of operations. But they're kind of in the flight path of Burbank Airport, or maybe it's Van Nuys Airport. So
I think they're kind of in between both airports, because there were helicopters and airplanes constantly, and we're outside the entire time.
And Kirby's sound is fantastic. I mean, I think you can hear in the piece how great her sound is, and it's incredible because it's a wordy piece. I mean, it's not. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on. I mean, people don't have monologues, but I mean, it's not a bunch of looks. I mean, people are actually talking, and you need to hear what people are saying. And she had a lot to contend with, and I think she was extraordinary. So thank you, Kirby, and thanks for joining us right now. I'm glad you made it.
And Carrie, you were brilliant too. The other Carrie that just joined.
Okay.
Both we were blessed with two amazingly talented Carries.
So this other Carrie with a C is Carrie Reichenbach, and she played Gigi. So the pregnant wife, and Gigi's very close to my heart, and so is Carrie. I wrote it for Carrie, and I waited till Carrie could do it. And at one point, I had written it for Carrie, and then Carrie got pregnant. And then I was like, oh, God. So then I wrote it so Carrie could be pregnant. I mean, and I'm just thrilled that she was able to be in it.
And I only knew Carrie from class, and I only knew her as pregnant during class. And then she was gone from class, and then she came back for the garage sale, and then the entire time we worked with her, she was fake pregnant. So I kind of only know Carrie as being pregnant.
And Mary Manofsky has just joined us, and Mary is in Japan. She's now living in Japan, and she's not a veteran of one of Josh's films, but actually two of Josh's films. Also Lunch Ladies, which is a comedic horror thing, which is so funny. It's called Lunch Ladies. And where can they see that?
Well, you can't see it yet publicly because we're holding it back for the film festivals. It can't be publicly distributed in order to qualify, but we just got into our third festival. We'll be in Nightmares in Columbus, Ohio on October 19th, and it's one of the biggest horror fests in the country, and we're there on opening night, playing right after the new Leatherface movie. So it's going to be a big night, and it's going to be really fun. Hi, Mary.
Hi, Mary.
Wish you could be here for all this.
So Mary is the woman who struggles with the apparatus at Rebecca Nathan's. She's struggling with a workout item, and I think she's hilarious. So thank you, Mary, for joining us in Japan. Oh, who else is here? Jesse.
Oh, Jesse Einstein. Thanks for joining us, Jesse, and thanks for the tickets. I will publicly announce.
So a friend of mine, Chuck Uvas, says, will the mirror behind you be available for purchase at the garage sale? No, this mirror has been with me for almost 10 years, and I finally hung it, and the last place it was, I almost tore down the wall getting it. No, it's not for sale, Chuck. It's not for sale. Oh, and Mandy's here. Okay, so Mandy Levin is, she plays Rebecca. And for those, I don't want to say anything negative about Rebecca. She's a lovely human being, but she's a little stressed out. And she is having a little trouble at the garage sale. And so if you haven't seen it yet, I don't want to mention too much about it. But Mandy gives an incredible performance. Not only is laugh out loud funny, but also extraordinarily moving. And thank you, Mandy.
Simmering intensity.
Oh, and Bryce is here too, and Bryce plays Jack, who is this character who is going to fight for, well, he almost fights for a particular item at the garage sale, and he has some very funny moments that I really appreciate Bryce being in the film. Thank you, Bryce.
And to both Mandy and Bryce for letting us use their front yard.
That's right. And their house.
And their house.
Base of operations. Yes. And their toilets. Let's be specific. All their toilets. So I was wondering, just jokes. I know it's a film. No, I know. Okay, so I do have a question for you, and I think you have a question for me.
Okay.
My question for you is, did you ever want to quit?
No. No, not ever. The more we talked about it, the more excited I got. So you didn't want to quit right before we shot? No. By then I'd done so much work, it would have been terrible to quit at that point. And you never wanted to quit during editing? Well, sometimes during editing I wanted to quit. but no, I mean, it was an amazing challenge. It was something I really believed in, and it was so much fun to. I guess you're kind of looking back.
Oh, that's right. It's my good side.
Um, no, it's like the characters just became more and more real the more we talked about them, and I got excited about everybody, and the cast was so good, and I mean the location was perfect, and Carrie had collected so many awesome things. That was actually my only worry, was whether we were going to make it look like a legitimate garage sale with three couples, like all of their stuff. That's just not the kind of thing you can find on independent movies. But everything else just felt so good, and the opportunity to try something new as an experiment, and the fact that you were game to even give that a shot. I figured, well, if she can write a 3-column script, we can figure out how to shoot it.
That was a question a friend of mine, Stacy, who's a wonderful, Stacy Upton. I don't know her married name. Sorry. Stacy Upton is a wonderful playwright and actress in her own right, is asked a question. She said, did you format it like a normal script? And I thought that was a really good question. And the answer is no. I wrote it in Word, in landscape, in 3 columns. And then I switched it over to Final Draft to give to actors and to shoot kind of from. But you worked from the 3-column script.
Yeah, well, we had to in order for everything to line up. We had characters changing from table to table and having to find their own marks across 3 tables sometimes.
Yeah.
And we had to know what was going on and everything else, or nothing was going to line up.
I just saw that David Downs joined us. Hello, David.
Hey, David.
And David played Yuri, who is the I was going to say ambiguous. I think he's Russian, but other people think he's different other nationalities, and that's fine too. And David did a huge favor for me. David is my acting teacher from Northwestern University, and he's very funny in this and knocked it out of the park. And I also want to thank Kyle, co-writer crew, for joining us. Kyle played Lawrence, who is this wonderful man in this piece who just kind of falls in love with every woman he meets, and regardless of anything about the woman, he falls in love with their spirit, and obviously
he sees through the person that they are inside.
That's true.
Immediately.
And
he tears down their walls.
He tears down their walls, and he's obviously desperately lonely and is a big talker.
And he tears down their walls. He can convince himself of anything.
And Aubrey just joined us. Aubrey was the beautiful young woman that gets to spend time with Lawrence / Kyle towards the end of the piece.
And learn all about, what is it?
Diatomaceous Earth.
Diatomaceous Earth.
Oh, there was a sad face. What was the sad face? Let's see.
What are those things?
I changed accents with every shot. That is not true.
No,
David
not
Downs
true.
did not change accents.
You're very consistent.
You were really consistent.
And it's your commitment that really sells it.
Yeah. It's pretty funny.
Very, very honest.
Kyle's universal love was hilarious. That's what Carrie's saying. And his universal love is hilarious. I'm sorry if I'm missing, we miss you too, Mary. I'm sorry if I'm missing any of these comments. So we apologize for that. So, okay, so you never want to quit.
Oh, Michael Tay joined.
Oh, hey!
Magical Chad. Magical Chad.
Okay, this is my favorite thing that happened in the sound editing, and this is all Josh Logan. So Michael Tay plays Chad, who is the sage of the piece. He is the shirtless, beautiful man who just pops in at the right moment to give sage advice to people or to prepare them for what's to come next. And Michael did a beautiful job of being that sort of guru / sage. So we had talked about maybe we could do something afterwards about making him glow or something like that. And as time went on, that kind of went by the wayside. But one of the last times I saw the film and I was listening to it and I went, did you put chimes in every time Chad appears?
I did.
And you did. And I thought that was so beautiful. So if you really listen, every time Chad appears, You'll just hear little
And not
chimes.
just that, I drop out all the other conversations too. So,
Oh, that's
so
excellent.
because there's 3 audio tracks running at the same time, and so every time Chad appears, the only voice you hear is his.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. And Michael, you did a beautiful job.
Thank you, Michael.
And you're so funny in it. Yay, good day.
All right. So my question to you, to entertain our audience here, is I would love to hear the story of the garage sale that inspired this, because I actually don't know it. I just know that you had a crazy garage sale with a bunch of friends, but like characters that have ended up in the film, I'm very curious what was born out of that original, the birthplace of the garage sale.
I had a garage sale with my husband, Todd Kimsey, who's no longer with us, and he, bless his soul. I had it with Katie Mitchell and Michael Silver. So we had this 2-couple garage sale at Katie's house. And people were showing up at 5 a.m. And as we were hauling things out, they were diving in. And everyone who's had a garage sale in Los Angeles is really familiar with this. I mean, it's not new. But we were struck by the fervor and the violence of these garage sale people. And this was on the west side. This was near Westwood. And it was crazy. And there were a lot of things we couldn't really do because it would have seemed, I can't go into it. I can't, because it's going to be, it's inappropriate, but they're straight lifts. They're completely straight lifts. Like the person trying to get the piano for free. That's a complete lift. Now, her reselling it was another garage sale I had, and that was with Ron Bernardo, a former boyfriend, and that was on the west side too. And I was selling this big carpet, and this guy just talked me down and talked me down. I finally said, okay. And then he turned around, literally turned around and sold it for twice what he got for it.
So that actually happened?
Yes, that happened. And I went ape shit. I lost my mind. I completely lost my mind.
On the same property.
Like, on the same property. I told him to get off the property. He says, well, it's mine now. And I said, this is so rude. And I just completely lost. So that's a couple of stories put together. Oh God. I think this is a really funny garage sale story, but it didn't end up in it because it was too specific. So at this garage sale with Katie Mitchell and Michael Silver, I had been in a series called Herman's Head. Now, the series had ended like only the year before, but I was selling a t-shirt. I was selling a t-shirt for 50 cents. It was a Herman's Head t-shirt. 50 cents. The woman said she wanted it for 25 cents. And I then had to try to prove to her that I was in the show and that it was worth 50 cents. And I'm like arguing with this woman about this t-shirt who means nothing to her, but means something to me. And I didn't let her have it. I did not let her have it for 50 cents or for 25 cents. Yeah.
Good for you.
I did. I just took it back. I'm like, you know what? No, it's not for sale.
It's not for you. Clearly not for you.
This is not for you.
That item does not belong with her.
And those are
stood your ground.
Yeah. That's good. So that's some of them. Let's see what else. Michelle, hello. And Zach Summers. Okay, Zach Summers is the unfortunate man who did purchase. He purchases the keyboard.
We never actually saw the transaction happen.
Yeah, she just says, show me the cash.
Yeah.
Show me the cash.
And then she's attacked.
Yeah. That's true.
So it's possible the transaction was never. In fact, Richard could have theoretically gone home with that keyboard at that point.
Yes.
With his attack wife.
Yes. Yes. What?
Theoretically.
Theoretically. Let's see. What else is happening here? Fervor and violence of a garage sale. I love this story. But Carrie, you got rid of all your stuff. So, kudos for you. I keep doing stuff. Donya? Is that how you say your name? Is that Kirby's mom? Donya? Donya? Well, that's lovely. Okay. Okay, so what else can I ask you? Oh, this is a great time to say thanks to some people. I really want to say thanks to Evan. Evan was our DP and our camera operator. And Evan Zizimopoulos, and if I'm, ruining your name, I'm really sorry, but he did an amazing and astounding job of it was a madhouse. I don't think you can understand what this set was like because there was so much going on all the time because it had to be going on all the time and everyone was doing background work for other people. So to get people in the background but not shoot all the other stuff and the sun was blazing. I mean, it was
over 100 on one of our days of shooting.
Yeah, and it was really hot. But I mean,
it was like 109 or something.
But I mean, some of the stuff was like nuclear. Yeah. Like the bounce off of the house was like nuclear. There were all these things that were just nuclear, and I think it looks beautiful.
And we only had one light, and the biggest job was managing. We had a 20 by silk that kept everyone's forehead from exploding, and then that had to be managed and moved around all day in conjunction with the moving of the sun, and is essentially a 20-foot tall sail that had to be managed throughout the day. So it's a very large, dangerous piece of equipment that had to be moved constantly in order to keep everyone in the right light, and it really turned out amazing.
And that was thanks to Lars and Tom and a bunch of other people that were helping keeping the actors safe while this thing didn't drop on them. So that's one person I really wanted to thank. And I also want to thank Matt Meyer. Matt Meyer had the thankless job of being the script supervisor. Being a script supervisor isn't about telling people their lines. It's about keeping track of where the camera is. And so you're not crossing lines. So you're not doing this, that the right camera angle is happening. So it makes geographic sense once it's on film. And that was Matt's job.
With 3 stories all at the same time. So I put him in the credits as the super script supervisor because that's what it took to keep 3 stories all straight. And between him and Greg, our first AD, who had to keep track of, like, they didn't have time to keep track of what was going on in the set we were shooting. They had to keep track of the set that was going on behind them and make sure that everyone was moving from place to place at the right time and keep track of where they were at any given time. So we didn't have to start back from the beginning and walk all the way through, and we had to do pickups.
And we shot this in 5 days. So 4 days were actually on the lawn, 4 jam-packed days. And then there was one pickup day where we did all the other stuff, the night thing.
And the U-Haul, the driving stuff.
Yeah, and the interior of the U-Haul, that's right. And the house, the waking up in the morning, which is my house. I also want to say thanks to Tracy Thomas, who helped us produce this thing on those 4 days. Without her taking me to Costco and telling me how to do this, I wouldn't have been able to feed people. She was extraordinary. Anthony Clementi, who is our co-producer, thank you.
Got us everything when we needed it.
Got us everything.
On time, on budget, kept it all together.
And then Lana Von Hott, also known as Laura Hott, also known as Laura Evans, who was indispensable and is always indispensable because of everything that she does. There's not one thing she didn't do on the set, including being in it. But you can see a lot of her work all over the website because it's her pictures. She's a terrific photographer. And I wonder, because I can't scroll through everything, but I wonder if Evan Sword is on somewhere. He played David, and he was so lovely. He's the young man who, I don't want to give anything away. If you haven't seen it, I'm not going to tell you who he is. But he's David of Marin and David. He's a dreamer. He's a good dreamer.
And Lana and Drew also helped cut the trailer. And so when and Laura did the animation for the credits, the end title credits. So yeah, Laura had a very meaningful influence in pretty much every phase of this project.
Yeah, and the beginning, because it was Laura and Drew, or Evans, who we spitballed one night and came up with this idea. So even in the beginning. So well, does anyone have any questions? We've got like 6 minutes left before Josh turns into Hamilton pumpkin. So I wish I was going. So if there are any questions, you can ask, you can type away. I do want to give this is a personal shout out. I want to say thank you to Mike Kehoe, who has become
thank you, Mike.
We wouldn't have done this without Mike Kehoe. Mike Kehoe is a wonderful director and writer, and his film The Hatred launched last week. You can buy it on iTunes. And if you just Google The Hatred, you'll see the promo for his movie, and it will scare the bejesus out of you.
It's really good.
And he's a master he's helped us so much figuring out how to self-promote, because we're independent filmmakers and it is all about self-promotion. So I know a lot of you already have promoted the heck out of this because you're involved in some way. But for those who are not involved, if you love what you see, could you please just share the movie? Because that's how it's going to get around. It's for free. No one has to pay anything to watch it. It is an experiment. It is interactive. And so if you like it, if you could share it, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, tell people about it. Talk about it if you like it.
Yeah, please do. And then I also want to give a shout out to Constance Marie, who is my personal social media guru, who's been trying to shepherd me into the way of social media. And I love her very much, and she has helped enormously. So if you have not followed her, you should follow her, because she is really an amazing actress and an amazing human being. Constance Marie. Thank you. Let's see. Hello. Is there anything else happening? All right. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else that we want to we have lots more we can talk about, because and if people ask specific questions, maybe we'll do this again and we'll have the actors on. If they would be so kind to join, that would be terrific. This will live on Facebook, and I also make a YouTube thing so people can watch this at a later date. And what else would we like to say besides thank you? Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for all your support.
Thanks for joining us.
And all the people that gave of their time. It's just...
And thanks for posting on Instagram and Twitter and everything else you've all been doing. It's been pretty overwhelming to see how many people have actually watched this movie now. When we first started, we didn't even know, how people were going to get to watch it at all. And, and we found Interlude and Echo. And thank you to Echo, Alex Flack, and Marley for fielding endless questions, helping us bend this project into their format, which now can be viewed by the world. And how many countries have watched it now?
There's like about 17 countries.
17 countries.
That's pretty neat.
And that's, thanks to Echo that they were able to make that happen and help us shape this.
Yeah. Hello project. Echo is the company that has the platform that we used, and Alex Black and Marlene. I hope I don't.
Charlene?
It is Charlene, but I hope it's not. I'm messing up the pronunciation.
Charlene.
But Marlene, your help was indispensable. She helped every step of the way with this Luddite and how to master their program. And the thing is, their program is easy, but if you are a Luddite and I had specific questions, she was right there for me helping. And
by the way, if you didn't know, Molly did all of that. I cut the movie and I handed it to Molly, and she stretched it out and cut it up and chopped it into thousands of different pieces, and then loaded it and figured out, like, not knowing computers, figured out how to create this amazing labyrinth of choices. Molly did all of that. Like, I cut the movie and then Molly figured out the rest. So, a huge technical achievement and also storytelling. So
yeah, it changed how we told the story for sure, because we had to find the way to tell the story. Then it was one way, and then anyway, it's interesting, and we can get into that maybe another time. But I want to say thank you for joining us, and signing off.
See y'all later.